We've got another teacher in today's interview. He is up over 20K in the last 6 months arbitrage betting with OddsJam. He used to be an Uber driver back in 2020 as a side hustle, and he found another one that is, I would say, a little bit more lucrative, that doesn't require to be driving around or be doing a lot of the things that other side hustles ask you to do. I hope that made sense. And here's his story.
Since August, up about 22, almost 23,000. Really, the start of September is when it started taking off. To be honest, in what was it, 2020 when COVID hit, my wife and I did start driving for Uber Eats and doing all those. That's kind of when the side hustle started. And this, I mean,
Right.
this is more than a side hustle now.
Hey, 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 Ricky, what's up, man?
How's it going?
All good. I'm not even gonna try to say that last name, but I'm gonna try it either way. Olshansky. Oh, that's pretty. Did I get it right?
You got it. You got it.
That's that Polish?
It's Russian.
Russian. Nice, man. You
Yeah.
Russian? Well,
So it is Russian and Polish, but no, no,
American.
American.
Maybe like back great grandparents.
Yeah, it's way back.
Okay, nice, man. Where are you at? What
Yeah.
state are you in?
So I'm in Chicago.
Oh, okay. I was just there in December, actually. I was there for like
Yeah.
a week doing some live betting Chinese basketball at 5 a.m. with a friend. That's insane at that, isn't
Right.
it? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's nice. We got all the sports books here.
yeah, everything was there. I was like, wow, there's so much in there. So that means you must be doing really well. How's that? How's sports betting, man? You said the S
Yeah,
word.
so it's good. So I started in 2022.
Okay.
Uh, a terrible sports better. I was betting with my heart. I knew everything there was about sports, but I didn't know how to bet on them. Just picked who I liked when I thought I liked them. Always end up losing. Um,
Yeah.
so it was amazing finding OddsJam just to get started.
And that was in 2022, or when did you find
No, no, no. So
OddsJam?
so so I started betting completely in
Okay,
2022. I
okay.
actually so even before then, in college, um, when sports books weren't really a thing, I think it was Bodog,
Yeah.
um, was the name
Bovada.
of the site. I started very lightly betting on there, not really though. And then
Yeah.
it wasn't until when was it? It was middle of 2024 when I started seeing stuff about OddsJam. And
Where? YouTube, Twitter.
it was mostly on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it started popping up out of nowhere. And then you said,
So,
"What is this?" Or was it already popping up in your feed and
yeah,
you were
well,
like, "This
so
is all BS."
right. So even before that, I guess, before I started seeing OddsJam, I was a part of a bunch of different Discords. I couldn't
Yeah.
figure out how to win. You get in a Discord with sports cappers, and some of them are great. Some of them profit well.
Okay.
Um, you learn that there's 20 different cappers in each Discord, and you got to figure out which ones to follow. None of them are
Yeah.
hot at the same time. So it's you still end up losing even when you join those, unless you're picking like one guy to follow and he happens to be a good one. But
Yeah.
YouTube, the algorithm kind of changed for me when I started getting into sports betting more and I started seeing like Alex Monahan and all of his YouTube videos pop up on Twitter and started paying attention.
Okay. Nice. Were
Yeah.
were any of those discords actually profitable? As in, did they have a tracker? Because it's
So
usually they usually just start like marketing when they're winning. There's not really an extensive.
right. So none of them, so I won't say none of them track. Some of them, the one I was in the most recent was good. And I'm actually still a part of it. I don't use it as often, but I'm still in it because I still like to follow some of those guys that are in there. But I've
Okay.
been in one where they tell you they're tracking, they say they're winning 70% of plays when it's probably not true.
Yeah. Also, the win rate has nothing to do with if you're profitable or
Exactly.
not. It's just if your win rate is bigger than the fair value, then that's when you have EV, right? You learn that after,
Yes.
right? Because you could have a 10% hit rate and your odds are so high that you win, right? Like if they're higher
Exactly.
than whatever the probability equals to those odds. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you got involved, right? And so OzJam started
Yeah.
popping up, EV stuff. So was it just OzJam stuff, Alex stuff, or was it just
So I
EV knowledge
so
overall?
so it was EV overall. So I'm also so I use OddsJam, and I before that I was using Daily Grind Fantasy. It's another company similar, but it's mostly the
Yeah,
DFS apps. So I
yeah,
started there. The DFS apps were good. You start getting limited there though, and it's really hard to profit on them once you start getting limited.
yep,
Like Prize Picks, I can play $5 at a time.
yeah, me too.
It's so
Yeah,
I've kind of
anywhere. Yeah, you get limited anywhere.
yeah, so I've kind of backed off DFS and I've gone full arbitrage. However, when I started OddsJam, I'd say the first so I started in the middle of August. I'd say the first half a month, I started with just EV, and I was still kind of struggling because there's still a lot of rules you have to apply. You still have to find the right settings. Once you
Yeah,
find them, it's great,
yeah.
but then you start seeing guys like Arbfather posting their full month of all green days, and I was like, no way that's possible. And so I was like, why not give it a try? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
to start, I was only signed up for like two or three sports books. I talked to him, I talked to a couple of other guys, and they all said sign up for as many sports books as you can and start putting money in them and see what happens. And
Yeah.
it's definitely made a difference.
Yeah, especially in Chicago, having access to so many. Did you collect all of the free money from the sign up offers, welcome bonuses, bonus bets, all of that stuff?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So if I were to make a suggestion to anyone, it would be you don't even have to start arbitrage yet. Sign up for every sports book you can. Hit every sign up promo. Like BetMGM, they give you a $1,500 no sweat. You
Yeah,
win it, you make a certain amount of money. You lose, you get all those bonus bets back. You spend the next couple of days using those bonus bets, and I think the site says you make about 70% profit of what you put in.
yeah. If
So
you
it's
do
like
it,
you could put in, yeah, so you could put in $1,500 and it's not arbitrage. So you're not really racing the books to beat these odds. The odds stay there. So it's a slower process that you can do for free money,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. The two scenarios to convert, right? Because it's like you either hedge and lose right away the side that on outside of MGM, and then you win in MGM everything, and then you're just up, or you
Right.
lose MGM and then you convert that after. So you get the two
Right.
scenarios now in the bonus bet. There's a video on the channel explaining
Yeah,
that.
so a lot of people probably avoid it. They may see that you lose $400 if the BetMGM side loses, but what they don't see is how much you're actually profiting the next couple of days that you use those bonus bets. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, sure, I lost my BetMGM bet, so I'm down $400 from my hedge from my
yeah,
$1,500 bet, but you get five $300 bonus bets back, and you use all five of them, and you're already in the green after like two of them, maybe
yeah.
three.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the two scenarios on the bonus bet converter is pretty new. It's I think maybe 2 or 3 months it's been up there because like 2 years ago when I was using OddsJam for the first time, more than 2 years ago now, there was just like you had no idea how to do any
Right.
of that. There was just a low hold page, and based on that, then and the bonus bet page, it was like separate. You had to like figure out how it all worked. You had to watch tutorials. Now it kind of explains it all. Right, so moving on
Yeah.
from the from the bonus bets. So after that,
Sure.
then you start. You said you saw the Arb Father, and you're like, okay, I need green every day because I don't like variance.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's funny because that's obviously the logical quote unquote thing to do is right win every day. There is a trade off. I went over this in the last call. Is that there is a long term profit with EV if you actually squeeze it all out
Right.
correctly. So it's like you want longer term reserves, longer term profit, or more immediate profit, or both, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the goal is to get to a point where I can start doing EV regularly. But I kind of want to milk arbitrage as long as I can until the books won't really let me. I mean, I just got hit with the FLIF ban. Took took I'd say another month after we started seeing that pop up, people getting banned. So I don't know how I lasted, but they let it go.
Yeah. Did you? How much were you up on Fliff?
Um, Total, it was probably only like 3 grand or something, but
Okay.
still, I mean,
Yeah.
they just kept letting me throw 250 here, 500 there. It's just
Yeah,
keep doing
yeah.
it.
That's the new, yeah. Before Fliff, like when it first came out, 2023, you could run an account to like over 20, 30, 40K even last year. Now it's
Yeah.
getting harder and harder, but then there's more books coming out, right? Like the
Yeah, all
DFS
these
exchanges and then all the other variations of sports betting, offshore stuff.
Yeah, I mean the offshores are great. All these new sweepstakes or not sweepstakes, all the new exchange books are great. Um,
Yeah.
Probably couldn't survive without Profit X and no vig now.
Yeah.
Um, it's hopefully a bunch more come out.
Oh yeah. There's a DFS peer to peer coming out soon. So that's also gonna be there.
Yep.
Um so that was August, right? So what is that, 6 months? How much are you up?
All right. So since let's see, since 2020 or no, not since 2020, since August, up about 22, almost 23,000 total.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and I mean that was really the start of September is when it started taking off. Um, I was kind of feeling out the site, learning how to use it, and once I dug in, it hasn't stopped.
Nice, man. And what is this, pregame mostly? Live?
Yeah,
Both?
so it's mostly pregame. I've
Wow.
got 2 little boys. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old,
Nice.
and it's of course it worked out where their bedtimes are prime live betting time. Dinner time is right before pregame, so it's tough to get live plays in right now.
Yeah.
Um, Hoping in the future when they're a little bit older and a little more independent, I'll be able to get more live plays in. But right now it's
Nice.
been almost all pregame.
Nice, man. So this is something you're using as a supplementary income, right?
Yeah, this is full on part time. I'm a special education teacher full time. I get home 3 o'clock, 3:30, and I may get a window of like 3 to 5 o'clock if we've got childcare here, where I
Yeah.
can dig in for a little bit and see what's up there.
Nice, man. So that's even more impressive because it's just like here and there whenever you can. What side hustle allows you to do that, right? Like really free on your time when you decide. Well, if you think about as like DoorDash, Uber as on the side hustle, you can do that on the side.
Yep.
But then, um, I don't know. This one is just more in your house, right? Because whatever you're like 2 hours away from your house and you need to get back, right? Well,
Right. Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, in what was it, 2020 when COVID hit, our schools closed. So I mean, I was still working sort of for the school. We were all online. My wife and I did start driving for Uber Eats and doing all those.
nice.
That's kind of when the side hustle started and
Yeah.
haven't turned back. I mean, I'm not driving for Uber anymore, but I mean,
Yeah.
this is more than a side hustle now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so 21 in the last 6 months. How does this year looking like, right? This is a month and a half in.
Yeah, so let me see. Let me pull it up real quick. So this year I am up. So in January I made about 7,000.
That's
Um,
full-time income right there.
yeah, that's great. And then so far this month we've slowed down a little bit, but still up 1,400, almost 1,500.
That all adds up, man. And
Yeah,
it's all super part-time. That's the most important one.
Correct.
So at work in the school, do any of your colleagues do you try to any conversations going around with sports betting with the math teachers maybe? How this work?
So not quite. So I'm at an elementary school, so these
Okay.
kids aren't ready for sports betting yet, but maybe one day.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
one of my coworkers I was talking to. Um, he's pretty interested. He's mostly just a fantasy football guy, though. So it seems like a lot of people think it's a joke until you really start digging
Yeah.
deeper into it.
Yeah, that's definitely that the negative connotation when you mention sports and gambling, right? And
Right.
this is like the everlasting topic in these calls is the initial taboo when there's a conversation outside of the people that understand how it works, because that's always going to be kind of like looked down upon. And a lot of the people, new users coming in, joining, are gonna relate to that when they understand how this works, and then they try to tell anybody around them, "Hey, man, this is a sick side hustle I'm doing. It's just supplementary income, and I'm doing sports betting." Obviously, that's already gonna be like, "Wait, what? You can't live off of gambling or whatever, or like, or
Right.
not live off, but like for some people they do,
Yeah.
full time sharps, right? And they make insane amounts of money. um but yeah, that's gonna be the talk. What has your experience been with that, with anybody close?
So I was actually nervous to tell my parents about it. I think they knew I think they knew I was betting, but they didn't know how much I was playing. Um, so I started talking to my dad about it, he's kind of the typical like, don't throw your money away, like hold on to it, invest
Yeah.
it. And I started describing it to him, and he started he started seeing how serious it was, and that he's actually considering getting into it at some
Wow.
point.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. So he was all on board for it. I'm not at a point where I'm comfortable doing it full time, but as
Yeah, yeah.
side hustle, side income, it's been perfect.
That's it. When you first were telling him about it, we were like, "Hey, Dad, so by the way, here's how to win in gambling." And
Right? He
that's
was
what's
like, he said, what's the catch? How do you,
yeah,
how are you really profiting every single day, even though you're losing half the bets you're playing? It's,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, now that he's interested, that's a good sign, man.
Right.
Yeah, imagine we could bring in all the side hustle grinding people on to this. It'll be pretty interesting world, because it'll just be better, I think,
Yeah.
because it's ultimately like sportsbooks are just getting richer, man. You got to take some of that to the
Yeah.
people, right? Like they make so much in the hands of so little people that there's some there for a lot of us. I know. I mean, this sport I took it super serious last year, and it would pretty much change my life. The amount of money I was able to make, and now it kind of just lingers on. I don't do it as full time anymore,
Yeah.
but it's still profitable no matter what.
Right.
Um,
And everyone, I mean, what you hear is, oh, how much you really winning? Because how much taxes are you paying? And it's like, are
yeah,
you saying you wouldn't take a higher paying job because you pay more taxes? I, I'm pretty sure most people would take the higher paying job and pay a
yeah,
little extra taxes.
yeah.
It's,
Taxes are just a part of life now.
right.
Like you can't, unless you go strictly offshore, right? And then it's just like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just in the air, and you
Right.
can't do that as well, because it's
Yep.
not US really, right? It's in the world of the internet, which is a very interesting world, especially with crypto now. It's like, what do you mean? There's no money. This is all crypto, right?
Yeah.
um,
So I guess advice for anyone who's worried about the tax implications. my financial guy's talking about itemizing all your losses. Make a spreadsheet, track it. It's annoying, but it's worth it. If because I know when you file taxes, you're doing like a standard deduction, most likely. He's saying if you itemize them by sports book by day, you could actually get a return back bigger than the standard.
Oh,
So that would be for all the people who question taxes and sports betting, track everything.
that's what the pro said.
That's what he said.
There you go. There you go, guys. You heard it right there. Definitely look into it more, track it all, figure out how it works, right? Look for pro legal help. But like Ricky just said, that's a way he does it. So what you're doing now, right? Um,
Yeah, that's what I've been spending the majority of my time doing while NBA's. I mean, I didn't even watch the All-Star weekend. It's bad.
yeah, how so? I didn't even know we were in All-Star weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. They got all sorts of they're just trying all sorts of gimmicks that just aren't working. I mean, for me, I'm all about the Four Nations hockey tournament.
Okay.
That's the one I'm into.
That's your favorite sport, hockey?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you play any hockey?
So not when I was younger. I picked it up when I was about 22. So I've been playing now for like 14 years, 15 years. And
Okay.
I mean, it's great.
Nice. What do you play?
It's
Goalie
just,
or just straight up
yeah, it's just
regular?
a beer league, rec league hockey.
Okay. Any like position you take? I don't even know how hockey positions work. I know there's a goalie. Is there a forward? Like in soccer, is there a
No.
forward, defense, midfield, or how does hockey work? That's
And
probably
so there's forwards, defense, goalies. Goalies are crazy. I would never do that. Defense, I'm mostly defense.
okay.
Uh, but I
Nice.
mean, it's a non-check league. It's all recreational.
Nice. Okay. Well, I think I wanted to yeah, I mean it sounds like you know what you're doing, man. You're up. Arbing is just now 6 months in is kind of like taking a walk in the park now. You understand it.
Yep.
You know how to deal with I guess lines moving, lines changing. Any advice on that for if you were to talk to the Ricky 6 months ago, what would you tell him with what you've learned with sports betting?
Yeah. So I'd say be patient. Um, when you see the optimizer up and there's 20 arbitrage plays, you got to understand that they're going to keep shifting. Um, can't be upset if you miss out on one. If a line moves, you got to learn to either get to the calculator quick, which is tough, or match the payouts. And match the payouts, and you could skip the calculator. And I mean, even now, that's a process I'm still working on, trying to get better at.
Yeah, is there anything you do specifically when trying to match the payouts? Do you try to calculate how much profit you would be up and then kind of add that to the
So I'll try and stick with whole numbers first of all, so it's easier.
yeah.
You also have to understand which sports books are showing you a total payout or a total profit. So I've even got like a little note thing on my computer here that says which site is showing you the profit and which one's showing you the total payout. And that way you really know ahead of time if you have to do math or if you're literally just looking at the number by putting in the
Yeah.
odds.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Looks like you've got a process down.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything you would like to say to the people listening before ending this? Because we went over everything, Ricky. Thank you
Yeah.
for your time and your story.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I'd say if you're questioning whether or not to join, take the 7 day free trial. If you don't like it, you cancel. There's no strings attached. Some people say they've had bad experiences talking to the guys. I've had nothing but good experiences talking to all the guys at Odds Jam. I don't work for them, by the way. I just
Yeah.
a
User.
regular guy.
Nice.
Just
Yeah.
try it out. Try it out. Ask questions. Um, I haven't run into anyone angry about being asked a question.
Yeah. It's good that you said that because with the 7 day free trial, because if you're smart, there's a free at least if you're in a good state with good books, there's about 2 grand for free that you could just
Yeah.
collect by taking the free trial, watching the videos on how to uh claim the bonuses. I made a video here in the YouTube channel. Go look for it. It's
Yeah.
Bankroll Builder or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And there's a free 2 grand. And you can just say, you know what, I'm done betting. I don't there's just 2K there. There it
Yep.
is. Or you continue the journey and then you get hooked like all the people that are on these calls.
Right. I mean, I've made a Google Doc. People have asked me about sign up promos and stuff. So I made myself a Google Doc that goes through step by step how to use each sign up promo. Um,
Oh,
and I mean, if anyone's interested, just send me an email,
yeah.
send me your
There's
email
a
address, and
well
I just share the Google Doc. Anyone who wants it.
perfect. Yeah, we'll link your Twitter on the description so they could just DM you there and then
Yep.
you could help them. So yeah, thank you, Ricky, for that. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for listening. Um, I hope you guys are not tired of these infinite testimonials of different users saying pretty much along the lines of the same story because that's all it is. It's
Yeah.
you go from skeptical to trying it out to doing it, and yeah, hopefully you guys take action. So see you guys in the next one. Later.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
You too, man.